In this video, I'm going to demonstrate one of my applications that uploads an image and creates a thumbnail, but it also inserts into a database the name of the image with its file name, its title, and keywords that I assign to that image for my application. So I'm going to upload an image in one of my apps, and let me know if this is going to help, and I'll try to get you the code somehow. It's in PHP, so you have to be using PHP, and I upload this into a MySQL database. So I'm going to click Images. So now I choose Image, go to find the image. Now I'm going to find one that I haven't already uploaded. So I'm going to find the image in another folder actually. You go up here. So I've uploaded most of these. I'm going to upload this one right here. And it takes like just a second, but you can put title in there, you put keywords in there. I'm going to choose the old keyword. Okay, now my image is uploaded and you get the little message here. So I'm going to go to the gallery and show you that it's in the gallery. Choose this keyword. I think I put clouds in there, but it doesn't really make sense with clouds. But anyway, that's the image. So I'm going to do a code walkthrough to demonstrate my code that I use to upload these images. This code not only uploads the file, but it uploads the file name and the keywords and the title that I add to the form when I uploaded it. But this does not create the thumbnail. If we scroll to the top, we're going to see two files, two required files, config and functions.php. The code in these two files is borrowed, and I'm going to give you a link in the description to where you can get all the information about these two files. Okay, let me show you again. I'm going to upload another file, another picture. So from my admin menu, I'm going to choose Add, Images. I'm going to choose Image. That allows me to browse my images. So I'm going to choose this image right here, parkinnorman.jpg. Notice that it's all in capital letters and there's space between the letters, park, space, in, space, Norman. That's not good for me. I'm going to upload the image. So I'll double click the image and now I'll set some keywords. I'm going to set Mountain, Oklahoma. Well, I need to add some more keywords to this. Anyway, so I'm just going to hit Add. Now you see the little spinner up there. That's while it's waiting to be uploaded. It shouldn't take very long. Now it's uploaded and you get this message. Congratulations, your file has been uploaded. Let's look and see if it's in the gallery. Oklahoma. And there it is, but I didn't put a title with this or an alt with this. So I'm going to change that and choose this image. That the image pops up, and choose some other keywords. Actually, I'm just going to put a title in there. I'm going to say this is a park in Norman. Okay, Oklahoma. So I'm going to hit update and refresh. And I'm going to check the gallery again. Oklahoma. And now we have the same image, but now it says a park in Norman. So now if we go to phpMyAdmin and look, we see this is a park in Norman, Oklahoma, the text. Okay, you also see over here, park in Norman, Oklahoma. Now notice the file that we had uploaded, parkinnormanoklahoma.jpg, was all in capital letters, and there was space between park and the word in, and there's space between in and Norman. Not anymore. We changed that. So we're going to go over the code that changes that. That's pretty simple code. But let's look in also in my files. I use FileZilla to upload my files. So we're looking for park in Norman, and there it is. But when we uploaded it, it was all in capital letters and there was space between the letters. Now it's all in small letters and there's an underscore between the letters. So now let's see if the thumbnail got uploaded. And there it is, tn_park_in_norman.jpg. So let's look at the code. So these two files, config.php and functions.php, were borrowed from this website. The link will be in the description below, and you should read this. It's good reading, good education. So back in the code, let's go ahead and glance at this config.php. Notice there are 4 variables declared. Final width of image equals 300, final height of image equals 300, path to image directory is blank, path to thumbnails directory is tn_. So the 300 right there, that's because I want to make my thumbnails 300 by 300. If you want to change the size of your thumbnails, then you just change that to whatever you want. So now let's take a look at the other file, borrowed file, functions.php. So you see some if statements, like starting from line 10, if preg match regular expression. That's saying that if the file has an extension of JPEG, then we declare a variable $im, it's equal to imagecreatefromjpeg. So the several lines down here, there's if statements and else if statements, that's just determining the variable im under $im is going to be dependent on whether it's a JPEG, a GIF file, or a PNG file. So if we scroll down some more, we got some more variables. Now you see the variables on line 25 and 26, $ox equals imagesx, and we pass in the $image. That's the original width of the image. And $oy, imagesy, is the original height of the image. Then on line 28, we declare 2 more variables, and that's the final width of image and the final height of the image. Now remember, back in the config, we set the final width of the image to 300 and the final height of the image to 300. So let's go back to functions.php. Now you see there, now these functions like imagesx and sy, you should Google those and find out more about them. Now we also have the imagecreatetruecolor, and then we pass 2 variables in that, our new width and our new height. So I've actually already Googled this, so let's take a look. Okay, so image creates a new true color image, but we need 2 variables. It's a width and height, and they're integers. So what we already declared those right here, and remember we did that in config. We set it to 300. So let's go back to the functions. So now let's take a look at the other function, imagecopyresampled. I already Googled that too, and so if you read all about this function, you'll find out why exactly we are declaring all these variables within our code. Okay, because we have these 0 zeros anyway. There's a lot of functions in there. So let's go to line 35 and go on with that. So let's go ahead and look at this if statement right here on line 35. I'm going to give it more space so that we can see it better. So remember the variables path to thumbnails directory. What this is saying is that if the file does not exist, then we're going to do another conditional statement that if we're going to look for the directory path to thumbnail directory, and if that doesn't exist, we're going to throw an error there. There was a problem, please try again. Now I'm going to conduct an experiment. Go back to config.php and comment out this path to thumbnails directory. Now there is no path to thumbnails directory. I'm going to try to upload another image. So I refresh, choose the image, choose whatever image and click Add. So there was a problem. Please try again. So that is the significance of this if statement and this embedded nested if statement. Okay, so let's go to the next section. This is the last section of our functions.php. Let's copy this imagejpeg and do a search on it. So this function actually creates the JPEG image from our other image. So we're going to get the variable that we created up here when we did the create image by true colors, and then we're going to, in the second variable, we're going to concatenate the path to thumbnails image directory to the file name. So that's going to make the tn, and we're going to declare the variable tn. That's going to be a message. That's how we got this image and this message right here. That is back when we uploaded the image. Okay, so that's pretty much a code walkthrough. Remember, it's touch plus, and that's the code that creates the thumbnail. Now let's go to the code that uploads all this stuff into the database. But now this video is becoming too long, so I'm going to have to break it up in two parts. So I hope you watch the next video because it'll be very informative. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.